Hi, I'm Lucy, and this is Memory Keeper Journals. Today we're going to be making belly bands and journaling cards out of the rest of the masterboard. So the pieces we have here, we are going to be adjusting into journaling cards and belly bands. They're not the actual sizes. I'm just cleaning them up and gluing whatever is sticking out of them and prepping them, getting them ready to how they are supposed to be looking. So this is basically the continuation of the last video. Okay, so we're going to begin with the belly bands. But for belly bands, I need them to be a little bit smaller. So first we're going to cut them into 2 inches. And then whatever is left over, I can do something else with it. And we'll see if I do it on this video or the next video. But if I do anyways, we'll figure out what we can do with it, because it's only going to be 1 inch left over out of that. And it's okay if I use it or if I don't use it. I just want to make sure that the belly band is the correct size that would fit into her journal. So the first thing that I go on to is lace that I have. And I figure I could add some of the pink lace that I had left over too, so that it can match with her journal, with the pink and yellow and greens and all that. And that's what I start adding into the belly band edges. So what I'm going to do is glue that with some fabric tack, and I'm going to use it on both sides of the belly band to decorate it. And you can decorate it with other things. So you can put, you can stitch around it, do like some decorative stitching, or you can add washi tape, you can add fabric to it, collage something else on it, or even decorate it with some butterflies and some other stickers and die cuts, anything. But I really wanted it to be really girly and frou-frou for her because that's what she likes. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a lot of lace and more girly stuff and ruffles here and there, and she loves that, so I'm happy to do that for her. I know that's what she always looks for in her journals, especially when I'm making them for someone else and they come in and they see them, they right away like, oh, can you do that one to my journal, Nana? So definitely working on that for her. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the laces on both sides, and I think I love it. I think it's cute. It has the little ruffles on the side. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out some of these little cute daisy flowers that I have here, and I'm gonna put a few of those and glue them on for decoration. And so basically that's what you could do. You can add little decorations on it. Oh, you can even add buttons too. Like you can add buttons, or you can add an eyelet or a whole bunch of eyelets and do like a whole ribbon put right through the eyelets and do a bow at the end. I have a few ideas like that, but I haven't done them yet. You know, I could probably practice a few different things or try a few different things just to see what it would look like. But I really like those little daisies, and they have pink on them, and it was perfect to put on those tags. So on the second tag, what I want to do is put lace all around it. So I'm going to use this roll of lace that I have purchased at Walmart, and I am going to cover the whole belly band from the whole front of it, and I'm going to let it overlap to the back so that I can glue it, and then I can decorate the rest in the front. But I just want it to be very dainty and very girly looking. And again, I'm using the fabric tack, and then I spread it out with my fingers as much as possible, just so that it's not so shiny. Because for some reason with this one, even if you spread it and you think it's gonna disappear, it doesn't. It stays kind of shiny behind the lace. I don't know why it does that. I don't really like that. I wish it would be like a matte color or finish on this specific glue, but it doesn't. It's kind of like shiny and you can see it through the fabric, or I mean, not the fabric, the lace. So if you guys know of something like fabric tack, or maybe is there another beacon glue that you can use that is clear like that but it doesn't stay shiny through the lace, let me know, because I don't know if there is any. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I put a little bit, I'm just adding like a little tiny line, and then I spread it once I flip it over the lace. I put it there and then I spread the glue with my fingers just to make sure I can get rid of as much as I can so it doesn't show through. And make sure that it is completely glued down so that way it doesn't come off. And then when it's completely glued down, then I turn it around and then I take off the excess at the end of the belly band. And I use kind of my nail to go over it, because if you use your fingers, it kind of pulls the lace off it because it gets stuck in your fingers. So I use my nail, and I noticed that that glue can literally take your nail polish off. So I don't know what it has in there that is that strong to take off your nail polish. So that's why when I'm going to be doing things like this, I don't even bother painting my nails, because it'll come off. And since I do it at home, I don't go to a nail salon like I used to. Usually if you go to the nail salon, they put something on top of your nails that they last for the whole 2 weeks that you have, and they don't even chip. So I don't know what they use. It's some kind of acrylic cover or something. And it won't come off. But if I do it with my nail polish at home, it definitely comes off. And then I have messed up nail polish and it looks terrible. So I'd rather not have it on while I am using that glue specifically. Okay, so here I'm adding the flowers again too, but this time it looks a little bit different, and you'll see, I think it just looks nicer because it has a little bit of the pink and the yellow already on the belly band. It doesn't have the green map on it, so it looks more delicate. I think I think it looks better. For some reason I wasn't really liking too much the maps on it or the green, but once I put it in the journal, it actually matched perfectly. So while I was doing it, I wasn't feeling it really, but once I put it in the journal, then it worked out. Then I decided to add some more lace at the edges, a lace trim, to make it a lot prettier and more or less looking like the other ones. So she's only gonna have 2 belly bands, so that she can add to her journal, so it's okay. And it came out pretty cute. So now all I have to do is glue it onto one of the pages of her journal. And look how pretty that came out. Just simple. Okay, so now we're gonna start working on the journaling cards. And these are my favorite by far because of Ruby and Pearl's wallpapers. They came out so beautiful. I think the color looks a lot better. It has the green, the pink, and the yellow, just like the journal. And I love them. And I'm going to be adding decorations on it now. So what I'm going to use are stickers, lace, labels, even handmade paper, as you see me taking out here. And these handmade paper, these beautiful ones, are from Heather from Rose Hill Paper Cottage. I can say I always use it in all of my projects, every single time, and I stretch it as much as possible. I use every little piece of her handmade paper. I mean, it's so beautiful. This one actually has some of that foil on it, and I think it's copper. not, I don't remember if it was the gold, but she did have gold and copper in there, and I loved it. So I'm just gonna let you see how I do it. And I put it in many different ways, but you just have to add a little bit to it and some lace here and there, and you can round the corners. You can sew around it or do some stitching like I said you could do before with the belly bands. You can do it the same with the journaling cards, and I do get to do that to these cards because I think they're just so beautiful, and add some of the labels so that you can put like what else you can add. You can add some sentiments also. So many things you can do, but if the card is beautiful already, you see, like me, I was having so much trouble trying to decorate it just because I love the way that it looked, you know. But I wanted to take some time and show her that I really care about what it looked like, and that I took some time to decorate it for her so that she can have something special in her journal. So as you can see, I finished it with some lace in the background with the sticker of the girl, and that wall, the handmade paper looks amazing, and it's just simple, no label or anything, just that, and it looks so cute. Then I'm gonna just work on cutting the edges and cleaning them up, making them look a little bit nicer. And then I'll look at it a little bit more just to see if I need anything else on it, because once you clean it up and you cut the edges and everything and you look at it again, sometimes you might want to add something else to it. And while I was doing that, I felt like I needed to grab my ephemera book, and I have some fussy cuts in there, and I started just trying to see what is it that I'm missing, what am I missing. And so I took a few things out and checked to see which one I liked it the most, and I ended up getting label from, I believe is Angela Kerr, and it's one of her digitals that I had purchased in the past. And so I found a quote that I thought would be really cool to put on that journaling card, so I just cut it into pieces and then I glued it onto the journaling card, and it came out so nice, and I left it that way. So it was just the icing on the cake because that's what I needed. That's all I needed to add on there so that it looked good. So I distressed the words that I was putting on there, or the phrase, and glued it on there so that it can pop out a little bit, just to give it a little bit of interest. But I didn't put anything in the background to decorate it or anything on the words, but because I think it was more than enough. I just needed something. And when I was auditioning it and I put it there, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It needed a quote or something on there. And I need to cut a few more because I have some other phrases or quotes or poems and little things that I need to fussy cut just so I can have them in my box or something. I have a little box that has words, so I need to add a little bit more on there because I've pretty much used all of the ones that are my favorite. And I could also use like Bible quotes too. And you know, usually I have a stamp from May, I believe it is, that is a phrase and some Bible verses on them, and I think I could do that too, but those are stamps. But I could actually stamp it on a piece of paper and then cut it out and glue it onto the journaling card. And here I'm using that eraser for glue. So when you see XX glue, you can use the eraser and it takes it out. Man, that is like the best thing and the cheapest thing I've bought on Dollar Tree, but it's like the best thing I've ever purchased for crafting, to tell you the truth. It's crazy. I don't know who I saw that from in one of the videos. Can't remember, but when I heard what it does, I immediately went and got it because I was like, that's exactly what I need. Because every time there's extra glue, you don't want to ruin your work because it'll get it like dirty. And so it was perfect to use that. So here is my second card. And I might speed you up a little bit on these so that you're not here forever looking. But seriously, maybe I might not, but seriously, it's like it takes forever just to try and figure out, like, why am I adding more flowers if there is already flowers on there? I don't know. It didn't seem right. The label looks perfect on that. So when you see it after the fact, when I'm doing it, you see it totally different than when you are watching it back again when editing. So like right now, I like the way that looks with the label on it. And like it needed that green on that side to match the other side of the card. I don't know about the butterfly though. But I know I ended up using it. I don't know, for some reason it looked okay at that moment that I was doing it, but I think I left it on. I just liked it that shadow. It's like a card, what is it called? Craft paper flower. And so that looked really good with the green label. But I think I would have done without with the butterfly for some reason. I don't think, as I'm looking at it back now, I don't think it would have been a good idea to have kept that one, but I'm sure she'll love it. And then, once you place it on there, if you're not paying attention to how you're placing it, you might do it the wrong way too. It might change the whole way that you had it. So what I do is I glue it together to where I think it's gonna be, and then I go from there. So for example, that flower and the label, so I glue that together first, place it, and then I glue the rest, just so that I know exactly where it's gonna be. So it's like I'm just doing it, eyeballing it, just to make sure that it is on properly on there, because I've done it before where I glue it on. I put it on the card or whatever it is that I am decorating. Then I pick it up, and when I'm gonna put it back, it's in the wrong place. Like I totally forget exactly where I had it in the first place. And I have ruined stuff like that, and it just gets me so frustrated because it's like, why? I knew exactly where I was gonna put it, so why did I do that? Oh my goodness. I don't know if it happens to you, but yeah, it's every time, never fails. But you see, it was supposed to be higher, the label, so that the whole butterfly can fit. But part of the butterfly stayed out. It's just like part of the wing stayed outside of the card. And once I was done gluing the whole butterfly down and that little portion stayed out, guys, you don't even know. I grabbed the scissors and I start cutting the butterfly. So now the butterfly has part of the wing cut off because for some reason it bothered me that it was sticking out. And I turned it around here and I grabbed the scissors and cut it off. Like it shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have put that butterfly. But it's too late. It's already done. So all I have to do later is sew around it so that it makes it like it was purposely done that way, because that was not my intention, to be honest. Then I went ahead and added another of those die cuts that I have. By the way, those are from Sissics, and they are like thin lids, I think it's called, wildflowers. So I decided, okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of lace on the edge and add the yellow flower over it to change it up a little bit and maybe make it look a little bit better, because it just threw me off once I put that butterfly on. it threw me off. So I figure, okay, and I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what else I can add to it. And it came out really pretty. So I just add a little bit of that PVA glue, because they're very, very thin. So it needs that specific little needle there just to add enough glue, but not too much. And it looked cute because the one in the background is like a shadowy looking, and then the yellow one on top. So it shows, I don't know, it seemed cohesive that way once I put that yellow flower. And I kept looking at it because I was like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is really looking good, but you know, sometimes when you're working on something, it might not look good at that moment, and you think that it's not okay, but then once you're done with the whole project and you look at them back and you put them in the journal, they look really pretty, and it's unique. It's something that you make yourself, and I enjoy just doing that because it feels good to do that, you know, just to, you know, be creative and try new things or try different things. Okay, so now we're going to work on the rest of the journaling cards, and I might jump off a little bit because more or less they're about more or less the same, so I'm not going to make you watch each and every one of them and how I do them. So I'm going to show you right now how they look. They all have laces on them. I have to finish a couple of them, so I'm adding some labels and just trying to finish them all up just so you can see. So I kind of tried to keep it more or less the same with the same decorations, but a little bit of difference depending on where the flowers were located from the what do you call them? Oh, the wallpapers from Ruby and Pearl, because they fell in different spots on the journaling cards. So then after decorating them, I thought about the stamps. I said, oh, let me try some stamps and use my black ink and see how they look. So I took a couple of them that I had won in one of the giveaways, and I thought this one was really cute. So I decided to grab like the heart, and in the other one I took out some butterflies or flowers out. And I hadn't used it yet. I think I used it once, one of them, and that was it. And I said, let me just use them. That's why I have stamps. I might as well just decorate with them. I need to put my stamps a little bit in an area where I could see them, because most of the time I have them put away. So if I don't see them, I don't use them. And I'm a visual person, so I have to have it up. And I got to figure out a way to organize my craft room to be able to have things available to me. I always thought of like clear plastic, you know, the clear plastic baskets or something on shelves, and I can see them, but just organized neatly so that it doesn't look so overcrowded or like you know, like I have too much, because I really don't. I only have a few things, and I want to keep it that way because I rather use what I have. And then if I get tired of them, I can just, you know, pass them down to the kiddos, and I get new ones just to change it up a bit. So see here, I was trying butterflies, and I think they came out really cute. It looked pretty dark on there once I added to the card, but again, once you put it in the journal, because the journal had some black, the stitching around some of the pages were black because it matched with some of the digitals that I already had in there. So once I did it to the journaling cards, it came out perfect when I put the stamps of the butterflies on them. And you'll see how cute they look. I also have some stamps that I have purchased from TaylorMade journals. Oh, I have so many of them because I was collecting them. I still have a few that I have to purchase that I haven't purchased from her yet, but haven't had any money to get them yet. So I'm just going to use what I have. But I always keep forgetting to use them. So I am definitely going to take them out and put them on my table so I can use them every time I can. You know, I have embossing powder, so I can do that too and put some gold or silver or something to make it shine, because I like anything sparkly on my journals too. So definitely need to try it. But you see how cute with the butterflies on it? I love it. That one, I love that card. That one is really pretty, and once it's already sewn around, it's gonna look really nice. So now I'm just looking to where I'm gonna be adding the lace. So as soon as I was done with the stamping, I looked for the rest of the pieces that I had left over from the masterboard, and it looks like tiny little tags. So I was thinking of making tiny little tags for those and sticking them in the journaling cards, because I made lace pockets on one of them. So I thought that would be really cute to add in there, and when she takes it out, she has a cute card as well. And then the rest of the skinny ones, I decided that I was going to make them into tickets. So I fold them in 4, and then I use a little punch hole on the corners and make them into stickers. And I'll stamp on them, decorate them, and that's it. And then cover the back of it, of the yellow part as well, with some of that coffee dye paper, and do some of the stamp of script, and they came out perfect. I did not do a video of that one because that one I did it after the fact when I had already done the videos. I didn't film it, but I could show pictures later on when I get it from her, because I don't have the journal anymore. I actually gave it to her already. Or maybe I can make a video next time on how to do tickets. But here I'm going to show you how I take it into my sewing machine. And my sewing machine is right next to me when I'm crafting. I have to have it right next to me because it's easier for me to get it while I'm sitting there. I'll just pull it over and use it. I used to have it on the separate table, and I would go on the other side and do it, but not anymore. I needed it next to me. So all I do is I pause the video and I move my camera to see that angle, and then I pause again and put the camera right back again to where you can see my mat and I'm working. And you see, I went with the dark stitch all around the card because like I said in the journal, that's the color that is around the pages and in some of the digitals that I had in it, so it matched perfect. Originally, when I was already doing it, like when I was looking at it after I was done with the first one, I said, oh, I don't know, is that okay to use the dark one? But it did. It actually looked really good. And I'm glad I did it that way. She was so happy when she saw those. I put it all in like a little package and really cute and gave it to her. covered up in a little plastic bag and put some of that washi tape from Amity Bloom. And she just was loving it because I gave her the choice to put it in her journal. Look how cute that look. See? So I gave her the chance to do it because I was going to do it for her. And then I said, no, let me just give her a little bottle of glue and the little things so that she can enjoy doing it herself and put it in whatever page she wants. So this is just showing you how I use my machine. And I was just only using straight stitch. I wasn't using anything that was decorative for the card. I figured there's just a simple one would be fine because I didn't want to take the focus away from what I had already done on the card to decorate it with. But it came out really nice. I think it was after this project that I did that I got really sick. And I ended up in bed for a few days. And then after that, I was just weak. And it took me forever. So I'm not sure what I had in that week that I was so sick. That was the reason why I didn't get a chance to finish doing the voiceover on these videos, and I wanted to get them out there at the same time or even the day after so that you guys can see it right away. But some days I just can't even move. But look at that one. That one's one of my favorites. Cultivate Joy. I'm sorry, the noise on the background is the air conditioning. It's so loud. It's like a freaking airplane in my house. Okay, so here I'm just starting to clean them up. And then we are going to cover the back of each card with some of my vintage papers. I mean, I could have left them that way because you can write in the back of those journaling cards. Because I use, cardstock, the yellow cardstock, which is fine and it matches with the journal. But I wanted to treat her like I treat my special books, adding all of my vintage papers on them. So I told her, well, you're gonna have vintage papers and stuff. And she goes, that's what I want. So I added some of the ledgers and coffee dye paper and some of the vintage letters and things like that throughout the journal. So she was really, really ecstatic because she loved it. So I used some of my ledger paper and I cover the background of each of those journaling cards. And they came out really cute. Plus, I like to cover it. Originally, I love to cover them if I stitch them so that you don't see the stitching. Sometimes if it's decoration, then I leave it, or I forget and I get it done after the fact that I put the background with some vintage papers, and then I sew it and it's like, oh well, I gotta leave it that way, but it still does look good regardless. So you can do it either way. And for that, instead of using my PVA glue, I use the Beacon fabric tech because I don't want the paper to warp, and that glue doesn't let it. If I would have used the PVA, then it gets wrinkly. Excuse me, my throat's still not doing so well. So, excuse me. But it came out really good. I know I feel like I have a frog in my throat, but with all that coughing and everything I had, my throat hasn't been the same. My voice, it changes. It gets deeper when I'm sick too. Okay, so after you're done doing the back of the journaling cards, what I did was I distressed them with my vintage photo, and they just finished the project because that's what I did to the pages and everything in the journal already. So for it to match, I did it that way. So I distressed all of them, and you'll see how beautiful they all came out. They were pretty big cards, so I distressed them on both sides. Just have it little vintagey. I had to clean a few of them, but they look really good. So then I took the little one, the other pieces, another day, but I didn't film it because I wasn't feeling well. I just wanted to finish it and give it to her. And so that's why I don't have an extra video showing what I did with the little pieces. But I did take the little ones and I made tiny tags. I put two of them in one of the journaling cards that I made with the lace pocket. I added in there, did this little cute bows on the top and whatnot, and then on the skinny strip ones, what I did was I made tickets with those. So I did some stamping on them. I decorated them a little bit, covered the back with vintage paper as well, and then I made them look like little tickets, and I added inside of the journaling cards as well. So they came out really sweet. So if you like this video, hit the like button below and don't forget to hit the notification bell for the next video that I will post on my YouTube channel. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye now.